Welcome to Lessons for Life, and welcome, John. So glad you can make it. Fantastic, mate.
I was quite surprised.
This is brilliant. So let me just explain here. Well, mate, I need to explain to you. John is a legend of his own in his own right. He has a channel. He loves to do a good old political rant, and I discovered him on Facebook because he's got the same surname as me, and I thought you might be a you might be a long lost relative. We haven't done the DNA test yet, but great to speak to you. Great to chat to you.
Great chat, man. Well, basically, I'm not, like I said in the video. I don't rant about political things normally. Okay. I've got kidney failure. Okay. I have a 22-year-old daughter who was born with cancer.
Oh man.
She had something called obscurenous myoclonus syndrome, big mouthful. It destroyed her nervous system, so she's 22 with the mental age of a 2-year-old.
Okay.
And I've got another daughter. She's 26. She was born. And when we found out when she was 11 that she had a heart defect, and she's had 2 bouts of open heart surgery. She's got a valve. She's got an artificial, it's a real valve, like, but it's off. It's not a human valve.
Okay.
So she had that done last year, and so basically I started losing my temper with Gated Council over the way we were being treated.
Okay. I mean, and I see now why you're annoyed at the people that are determined to destroy the NHS.
Oh, very much so.
Which council is yours? I believe you're in the northeast, but where are you?
Gated. It's just south of the river from Newcastle.
Oh, lovely. Okay. Wow. So that's a Labour heartland, I'm guessing, and you're a Labour man.
No, I'm not. I'm a member of the Socialist Party.
Right.
And I stood 7 years ago for the trade unionists in Socialist Coalition. I stood for councillor then when I was fitter.
I'm just going to put a picture on the screen because I knew this might come up. What is the TUSC then? What are they all about? Working class people disillusioned by Labour should consider Tusk.
Well, basically, it was set up by Bob Crow, and who sadly passed, and the Socialist Party, just to fight back against what Labour were not doing. You know what I mean?
Okay. So when I say you're a Labour man, forgive me, that's probably an insult, but I mean. Yes. You must be from a Labour family, or the people that wanted to be what the Labour Party should have been about, right?
Yes, I was very much Labour until 10 years ago, something like that. When I was.
Where did it all go wrong?
When it just exactly, and I couldn't bring myself to vote for Labour anymore. And I looked about, and I seen Norman Hall, who was our regional representative. I just cannot. I think I went online actually, and I found the number. I phoned them up. I said, "Look, is there any?" Because I was just going to go and sort of campaigning with them, not campaign, just ask for to do something. And so he came down. We sat there, and basically, me and my wife joined the Socialist Party.
And are they running as a political? They stand in elections.
Yes, yes, very much so.
Have they got any members of parliament yet?
No. You've got us on the hot.
You know what, John? We've got another guest who might join us. We've got someone else who might come in to chat to you. Whoever's standing by, called Jay. If you give me a thumbs up, and if you're ready to come in, let's see if they want to speak. Do you want to speak to John? Hello, Jay. Are you there?
I'm here.
Hello, Jay. How is that, Jay? You're welcome.
Yeah.
So from one John to another. Who is that, John, or is that Joe?
Joe.
Joe, what do you make of the trade unionist and socialist coalition. You're a man of the left. Have you heard of this the new political party?
No, I haven't heard of it at all.
Okay. Well,
it used to be. It was a part of the. It was the. It was the. Hold on a second. It was militant. It was the militant. Division of the Labour Party.
Are they Trotskyites?
Yes.
Oh, right. What do you think of that, Joe?
I mean, it depends on what they're doing, really. It depends on what they're doing in the field. If what they're doing is unobjectionable, it's kind of irrelevant.
Okay. Forgive me, John. I've thrown that word out there, Trotskyite, and perhaps I shouldn't, because I know people get into. Yeah. Oh, there you go, militant. Okay. Now I don't know too much about this. This is going very deep, but I know that on the left there are Marxists, and there's a split.
Socialist Party.
There you go, Socialist Party. Now, what makes a Trotskyite socialist different from a mainstream Marxist? Do you call them Stalinist? What's the difference?
To be honest, I tend to. I don't like to get involved with that.
No problem. I get you.
Stuff, you know, yeah, I mean, there's a lot more people could explain it a lot better than I could, and I just tend to start getting myself all mixed up in that, like, you know.
No problem. Because I know that term Trotskyite gets thrown around like an insult. And we talked about entryism. Corbyn was accused of entryism, where they go in and they overtake a party. But this is a party that's doing its own thing.
I mean, we supported Corbyn. You know,
right.
Like, so when he was leader.
So when he was Labour leader, you were happy to be a Labour man.
Yes. I would. No. Well, I'm not allowed to be a Labour. I can't be in the Socialist Party and the Labour Party at the same time.
No, but you could put a tick in a box.
They're banning all Socialist Party because they used to be militant. So if you join the Labour Party and they find out that you have been a militant, they'll kick you out.
Really? Is it that bad?
That's that bad.
Goodness me.
It's quite childish, really, you know what I mean?
I don't know. Do you mind me asking your background in terms of heritage, John? Just out of personal interest, I'm a Moro, and I'm from Ireland originally. My family are Irish.
That's what we are. Yeah, I'm.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, fantastic. Well, then we might be related.
Heaney's gone back to Heaney.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm. My granny was a Heaney.
A Heaney, yeah, okay. As in Seamus.
Eh?
As in Seamus Heaney.
All right, sure.
I'm a fan of his poetry.
Our Uncle Paddy Heaney. Yeah. We're just starting to research some of the history. But my mother was German. My mother was from a place called Breslau.
Wow.
And
so, do you think being from an immigrant family shaped your politics?
That's why I get annoyed with my brothers. That's why I get annoyed with my brother. My brother, he's a anti-immigrant, even though he spent most of his life working in the EU, like, you know. He's been started off as a coach driver, continental coach driver, then became a class one driver, driving on the continent.
What I've noticed about certain white people from an immigrant background, it can go one of two ways. Either they retain the empathy of what it's like to arrive in a new country and be a minority, or the generation later, when they can slip under the radar, people like Tommy Robinson, who is completely of an Irish background.
Is he Ireland?
Yeah. Like myself, like yourself, they forget all that and they try to become more English than the English, and they kind of overcompensate for it. And they want to pull up the ladder that they climbed up.
I was having a bit of a discussion, more of an argument on Facebook about somebody on a Labour site, which I've left.
Yeah. Okay.
It just got pathetic, and they said I was about like sort of like Donbass. No, it was Mariupol. Yeah, it was Mariupol. And they said, well, obviously, he said you wouldn't, something about you wouldn't know of Nazi if you met one. I says, well, actually, I would. I says, because my mother was a Nazi, you know. My mother was in the youth, you know. She fought in the Battle of Breslau.
Wow.
When she was 16 years old, you know what I mean? She was captured by the Russians, you know.
Wow.
Spent 6 months in the Russian prisoner of war camp, like, you know. I said, so.
And did they meet in Gateshead, your parents?
No, my dad met when he was over in Germany now, like during his what they call it, what they call it, when enlistment and not enlistment, you know, when you had to get in the army, you know.
Yeah. You know, I've got a friend. Well, he's a friend of my late father, who probably around your age bracket, and his mother's Austrian, and his father was a Scouser, but probably with an Irish background. It seems like these sort of these meetings did happen. I wanted to get your take on this story. I'm sure you'll have plenty to say. We kind of agreed about it on Facebook already. Boris Johnson wants first migrant flight to Rwanda in 6 weeks. What is this all about?
It's just, I was gobsmacked when I said, like, you know. I mean, especially when you said that to me, and I was just in, and I had to put it on Facebook, you know.
History repeats itself.
Of course it is. It always repeats itself with the Tory party. That just they're trying, they failed policies. All our policies are failed policies. They try and dress them up as new policies when they're not. They're just failed policies, you know.
But knowing the Tories, there must be more to this than just getting rid of the immigrants, getting them out of the way. I don't think it's as racially motivated as, say, what happened in the Second World War. Exactly, yeah, the money. Follow the money. So
that's
who is making money out of this? Is there cheap labour? Someone must have signed some kind of contract.
Of course, man. You know what I mean? I mean, they've probably done it with Serco or somewhere like that. You know what I mean?
Serco, yeah, that's
Serco, you know. I mean, can I tell you the story? Like, I took Amy to the dentist. This was a couple of years ago. This, like, and when she was 19. And 2 weeks later, I got a letter through the door, and I thought, for Amy Morrow. And so opens it up. It was a penalty charge notice for £120.26 or something like that. It was for fraudulently claiming free prescription, free dental care.
Fraudulently claiming free dental care.
Yeah.
Wow. Something that everyone used to get anyway as part of the National Health Service. Yeah. What grounds did they accuse her of that?
Said when they wouldn't speak to me, they wanted to speak to Amy. Well, I says, you can't speak to Amy. I says, because she doesn't speak. She says, well, that's the only way. But it turns out I'm just hoping to get stuff at the end. I says, yeah, I've had enough of this, like, you know. I says, you're not going to get any money out of Amy. I says, you're certainly not going to get any money out of me. I says, so you can just stick it, you know. You can stick it where the sun doesn't shine. I says, I don't care. You know what I mean? I says, just go on, just do what you want, you know what I mean? I says, because you'll get nothing of us, like, you know. And
are they still chasing you for £120?
No, it was, a few weeks later, I was taking Amy to school. I was taking her to school. I picked her up or something. I think I might have even picked her up. And the headmistress was at the door. And I was telling her, and I says to Jackie, because she still had the letter in a bag. I says, yeah, get that letter. And I give the letter to the headmistress. I says, yeah, can you sort that out for us? 2 weeks later, I got a letter saying cancelled. You know?
Brilliant. Okay, but so the headmistress had some clout, did she?
Oh, wait, no, she just done it on the letterhead. Well, what the thing was, I got in touch with the British Dental Association, and apparently, like, is it Serco that's doing it? Serco, I think it's Serco, run NHS BSA, which is Business Service Association, or something like that.
What are Serco? What are they?
Serco, it's a private company. It's a private
company, and they run, because you mentioned them earlier. They might be involved in the Rwandan.
They're multi-million. They employ million people, something like that. Well, they earn hundreds of thousands of people, like, you know. So obviously when Serco have got that got into the NHS business services, right, started running it, they look for ways of making money. Well, this is my opinion, right?
Okay.
And they come up with these penalty charge notices for the for like prescriptions and for dental charges. I mean, they're always there in the background, but like they've really pushed them hard, like, you know. So they're sending people who make mistakes are mainly like disabled people with learning difficulties now, and they're really hammering the disabled hard. Circle asking for you know, just anybody who's what I call it is not they get who makes a mistake, instead of saying, look, have you made a mistake, it's a fine straight away, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so, that's a good point.
Yeah. So I said, why could you not, like, you know, could you not just like phone her up and say, have you made a mistake or not, like, you know? And so we don't do it that way, you know.
Yeah, well, if you've ever had a parking ticket, paying the ticket is always easier than paying for the parking. They make it nice and smooth.
I've had one
to get your money.
Ticket, I would never pay another one again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I wanted to get your opinion on a couple of other stories. Just going back to the Rwanda issue. Here's Boris Johnson. Not so long ago, he said, "We regret that Rwanda did not support our recommendation to conduct transparent, credible, and independent investigation into allegations of human rights violations." So, why is he dealing with a country that not long ago he was accusing of violating human rights? He doesn't care. Is no one going to pick him up on this? Because I tell you what, sadly, Boris Johnson will probably win the next general election.
Oh,
I've got a horrible feeling. If there was an election tomorrow, I think somehow he'd win. Maybe you're going to tell me I'm wrong, but I get that feeling. How does he keep going? How does he keep getting away with it?
It's up in the air as what's happening, and it's absolutely. And I mean, that's like when I said, like, you know, like, so on a video, like, you know, genocide, like, you know, the genocide that went on in Iran, like, you know, people just like you said, disappearing, you know. I mean, I remember watching. I watched you know, where they chopped people up, man. You know how they do. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's just the
Rwanda genocide.
Churches.
Have you looked into the origins of that genocide, John?
Oh yeah, what the Nazis did in the Second World War, like where they were.
But I've heard that it was the Belgians who occupied that part of Africa at the time.
Oh, wait, didn't the Belgium, the king of Belgium, he had like heads of he got a big display. He's got a big display. Had a big display of heads, of tribal heads.
Yeah.
And he's thrown them and all that, like, you know what I mean?
That's right. And the Catholic Church out there. I mean, I don't know what your religious that's private to you, but the Catholic Church was teaching what they call Hamatic theory, and somehow they interpreted that one of the tribes, either the Hutus or the Tutsis, I believe it was the Tutsis, and they were the Tutsis who were massacred were actually regarded as the superior of the two races, and this is what put the enmity between the two. That one was elevated above the other, so much so that the other hated them so much, and when the chance came in a power vacuum, they began massacring them.
It's just
this is how imperialism turns people against each other, doesn't it? Whether it's Shia and Sunni in Iraq, Catholic and Protestant in Ireland, or Hutus and Tutsis in Rwanda.
It's all over, you know. Look at him. Look at us. We're the ones that don't do anything right. It's them, though. They're that's doing it. Same Boris Johnson. It's them. It's not us. It's them. Them people coming in the boats, like, you know.
They're the reason why that we can't afford to give you dental healthcare. Not people like this. Sunak's wife may have avoided up to 20 million in tax with non-dom status.
It's crazy.
What's this all about? Is this a loophole, a backdoor? What is non-dom? What does non-dom status mean to the uninitiated?
You pay tax. You pay. You know, I mean, clearly enough, you pay £30,000, and that's it. You don't have to pay any more tax ever again.
Really?
Very good. Like, you know, very good.
I mean,
I've seen that.
In my life, I've been blessed to work with and meet with some very rich people, and they will go to the and they will go to the effort of staying out of the country for 9 months of the year for the tax purposes. And I always think, how rich would you? Are you not rich enough? When are you rich enough? I mean, I don't know how it works, and I don't know. Maybe if you've got 10 billion, you probably want 11 billion. Well, but how rich do you have to be to not care about that? For that not to worry you?
It's crazy, man. To be honest, I have no idea. You know.
Yeah, it's a difficult one.
The whole thing just grieves me. You know.
Yeah. The final story for you. I wanted to get your views on this one. There's no headline. It's just say what you see. What went on here?
Yeah, what went on there?
The ship that sank.
P&O Ferries, 800. Yeah, well, they didn't do that to the French thingamajigs.
I heard you say that in a video. And why could they not do it to the French? Is it because they've unionized, or
no? Because it's the EU.
Okay.
And the P&O Ferries is frightened of the EU.
Right, but because Britain left the EU, then there's nothing. There's nothing to stop them. Although there were left-wing arguments for leaving the EU, and I think the British Communist Party voted to leave the EU. No, George Galloway voted to leave the EU. Dennis Skinner voted to leave the EU. There were many on the left that thought the EU is nothing left-wing about it. It's not democratic. It's not socialist as such, but was remaining the lesser of the two evils in retrospect. What do you think?
Well, I voted leave because I was told, and that's a sore subject, that the EU is not it's not a friend of the working man.
Yeah.
Well, I think
who is?
It's not. It's still not a friend of it's not a friend of the working man, but it's a bigger friend than the Tories are.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think a Brexit under Jeremy Corbyn, who had been a Eurosceptic for most of his political career, right?
Yeah.
Would that have been a different kind of Brexit? Would that have been for the working man?
I did. You see, I had a bit of a talk with one of the drivers today coming in off of dialysis.
Right.
And he even though he was a Corbyn supporter, and I'm a Corbyn supporter. I mean, I've seen Jeremy. We've both seen Jeremy Corbyn speak a few times, you know. And he says it's basically the worst thing you could have is a leader of the Labour Party, because he was such an easy target. You know.
Okay.
He
doesn't defend himself very well.
Well, yes, he doesn't do that, but they can just chip away at him. This is a communist. He's this. He's that, and the other. When the BBC put they made the brim of his hat away and made it look like and put like the Moscow thing in the background.
Yeah. That's right.
They can do that and do that. Then they can, you know. I mean, look at the way that some idiot edited that picture when he was walking in front of an IRA funeral. You know what I mean?
Did they? What did they do?
The photoshopped him walking in front of an IRA funeral.
Okay, I see. Yeah.
But it was stupid because he wasn't dressed for a funeral. You know what I mean? It was just ridiculous. You know.
Well, his dress sense is another thing that they attacked him for. Put a tie on.
I like I just.
Is there anyone you'd pick from the Labour benches, or are you that convinced it's time for someone else? Because the way that the political system works, it's very hard for an outside party to get even a seat, never mind a majority.
Yeah. Well, if I'll be honest, I don't know. I think I'll still vote Labour, but I think because you've got to, there's no other choice. Because even though I am not a member of the Labour Party, I'll just.
Well, when Tony Benn retired, he said he was off to spend more time in politics. Sometimes we can do more at grassroots level, outside the mainstream parties, and you can come in here any Monday. Any Monday we go live at 10 o'clock. I'd love to have a chat with you. If there's anyone else you want to bring on, any of your guys from Tusk.
Yeah, I will. Could do. I mean, I'm just trying to see them. I don't know.
Put it out there. Throw it out there. Yeah. This is an open platform. Anyone that wants to come on, if you've got a story to tell, if you want to highlight an issue, and I appreciate you sharing your very personal story tonight about your daughters, and I wish you all well. The whole family.
I was on I'm on dialysis, but also like 3 years ago, I spent 11 and a half months in hospital, and he died 3 times. I was in ITU for 5 months, and so I was even a supporter of like the NHS. And can I mention something else?
Yeah, of course.
There's a video out, right? You should watch. It's John Oliver. This week tonight, dialysis, and the companies that he's mentioning are now running the satellite services. DeVita, one company, is running satellite services for Northumbria, American company. Frenius, we've got rid of all my dialysis machines, and we're now running Frenius machines. So, and they've also got further down south. They've got Frenius. They've got.
Is that a different treatment? What does that mean?
Frenius or satellite.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Satellite service is it's not a hospital.
Okay, I see.
They've got one on a Team Valley Trading Estate in Gateshead, which is it's just a unit.
Okay.
So the satellite units are run by private companies now. And watched John Oliver this week tonight.
Dialysis. John Oliver this week tonight. Dialysis is worth a look. Okay.
Oh, it is an incredible story. I was talking to one of the Filipino technicians.
Yeah.
And he was offered a job where he went to America for a job with DeVita, and they wouldn't give him health insurance, so he came to England instead of going to America.
Yeah.
And one of them had a picture on Facebook, right? And I obviously can't prove it. And they were pointing to this DeVita sign, and then DeVita, and like basically then was put on that rubbish to work for. But you have to open your eyes, because in America, dialysis is the only social medicine in the country.
Oh wow! So that's interesting. As much as there's no public healthcare in America, that you can get dialysis.
You can get because it's big money, and the companies there, right, who are running it, that they're cutting corners, that they're not cleaning the machines properly, they're cheating on the fluids and all that, what they put in the machines and that, they keep getting caught. And
I never knew there was so much money to be made from dialysis.
Oh, well, you think
maybe Bill Gates will become an expert on it, but that's for another show.
Americans are large people, or the vast majority of them are large.
They are, aren't they?
And sort of it,
Mm.
like sort of obviously it affects your kidneys and all, like, and sort of like it's not much kidneys, type 2 diabetes, which leads to kidney failure, or type 2 diabetes.
John, I wish you the best of health, mate. You look very strong to me. You sound strong, and you've got some strong opinions. We love to hear them.
Argument. I'm waiting 2 years for a kidney transplant, but I can't get a kidney transplant until I get the gallbladder taken out.
Oh man!
So
but you're marching on, and that's going to inspire other people. I'm sure of it. John, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I know this was touch and go. This was 50-50. I approached you. I said, "Come on my show at 10 p.m." and you're like, "Yeah, I might do. I'm on dialysis." I thought, "Oh no, I hope I'm not putting pressure on him." But you look like a man that can handle anything, so I appreciate it.
It's I can see it's 60-40 whether I knackered or not, like, you know.
Well, tonight
I started getting after talking too much.
We got the 60. Look, see you any Monday. I'll catch up with you on Facebook.
Yeah,
thank you so much for joining me.
Very much. It was nice
talking. Lessons for life.
Bye.
All again soon. We were here and we are gone. Laters.